Recording. Hello, everybody. We're back. Without TJ this time because
Thank God.
exactly. Boo TJ. Olivia should have won. Hashtag Olivia Nation. Um,
I'm saying.
we're gonna talk about week three. It's a week later, so if we forget things, um, oops. Um,
And I also just was not there.
yeah,
So
I was the only one there, so um.
I was keeping up on my phone. I was keeping up with the chats as much as Crow would update me.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to when you're in the middle of the chaos. Um, but yeah, we come in Spencer's HOH, and he had talked with his alliance, the Endermen, which consisted of Taylor, Dominic, and George, as well as him, and they kind of decided that they wanted to target Hero, because Hero had gone up to Spencer and told him essentially, "Hey, I think you should put Taylor and no, Taylor and Dominic up on the block." And then Spencer was like, "Oh shit, that's my alliance members." So uh, Hero was the main target. He put up Masterfy next to Hero because Masterfy was just on the outs of the house the most, I guess. Had the least connections. So yeah, those were the two people put up, kind of the easy targets. Um, Everyone was kind of in agreement with it. Um, the big important thing that happened was that becomes relevant later was Landry and George made an alliance with Taylor and Dominic, and so those four were kind of discussing amongst each other and had a group chat, and they're like, "I like this four. This should be a thing." And they were like, "Yeah, cool." Um, so that becomes interesting and relevant later. But Landry attempts to get Hero to not use his safety ticket. She's trying, like, convincing him, "Oh, you're safe. You're good. You don't need to worry about it." That's kind of her main game plan this session. It ultimately doesn't work because Spencer kind of hints to Hero that he's going up. So Hero plays his ticket. Hero absolutely sucks at the competition. He times out.
Wait, what was the competition again?
It was BB banners, so they had to fly past a
Um,
series of banners
I
and then
mean,
replicate
to
it.
be fair, that looked pretty hard. I
Well,
don't think I would have been able to do that.
he
I
timed
mean,
out at 10 minutes, and the fastest person did it in like two. So
listen, listen.
I
That
think
could have been me.
I think Hero might be a little colorblind because the colors he were putting on, he was putting purple instead of blue, and I was like sitting there, I was like, is Hero colorblind? Because
Oh my gosh. Wow.
which
Crow literally making ableist
right in the
competitions.
middle
I
of this, I'd be like,
can't.
this would be a horrible time for me to find out someone's colorblind, but oh well.
Well, he should have let us know.
Exactly.
So that's
Oh
his fault.
god.
That's really funny. Was he saying anything like
No, he
during?
didn't say anything. He was just kind of like, talking out. It's like, okay, this is what it was blue, purple, blue, pink, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, he seems to be getting it. I guess he just sucks. He's either colorblind or just was not very good at that competition.
Man, I wish I could have been there.
Oh my god. But a lot of people played in this one. It was Hero, Star, Landry, um, who else? And not Masterfy, Dominic. I think that was it. I think those were the only four that played. Dominic played because he was safe. His ally was HOH, but he played it to try and get the power with it, which the powers are like not that powerful, so I wouldn't say it's necessarily uh,
Mhm.
worth it to use your safety ticket, but they didn't necessarily know that.
Well, I mean, it was also probably for the strategy, just for like one more person to be
Yeah,
competing against Hero,
makes
which
sense.
they didn't really end up
You
needing
think?
another person to be there, but
Yeah,
it might have been a good idea if Hero was a little bit better at that competition.
yeah. But Star wins it. And the power is the Ring of Replacement. So after the veto draw, would either be this week or next week. He gets to, if he wants to, he can use it to replace one of the drawn players with either himself, the HOH, or anybody else. So, um, he didn't use it this week, so he has next week to use it, which I think could come in handy for him this week. But we'll talk about that. The first thing that happened was that alliance with Landry, Taylor, George, Dominic. Landry's telling Taylor about, oh, I'm trying to convince Hero not to use his safety ticket, and Taylor's like, oh, I think Spencer's kind of gonna clue him in anyway, so that might not have been worth it. Blah blah blah. And then Dominic comes in the middle of their conversation and joins in and is like, hey, what's going on? I think Landry first leaves. I'm like, I wasn't there. This is me like third person perspectives from me telling what
You're
happened.
trying your best.
Yeah. So Landry tells Taylor that, and then Taylor tells Dominic Landry's trying to get Hero to not use his ticket. So we're that's great. Hero's still the target. Everyone's on board with it. Awesome, go us. And then Landry, Taylor, and Dominic are in a call together, and Dominic's like, "Oh, did you like?" Mentions the plan of Landry trying to convince Hero to not use it, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know what he said, but something about it." And then Landry's like, "Oh," and it's kind of like, "Why is Taylor spreading my information around?" And so then she goes back to the Big Three alliance with Star and Donnie, and it's like Taylor's like spreading like information and they're leaking information to other house guests. Um,
What do you mean other house guests? Isn't she supposed to be in an alliance with Donnie?
exactly, and that's what Taylor.
They're all three in an alliance together. Why does
Yeah,
it matter?
and that's why Taylor was like, "What? I thought we were like alliance members. Like what?" And everyone's on
And
board with getting out Hero. Like that's the house
yeah,
plan. Like
exactly. It's
I'm
like the biggest
confused.
big deal.
Yeah, so Taylor was very like, "Huh?" But they didn't know about this yet. But that's what Landry's going on about. Um,
So Landry was targeting the house target, but
yeah,
still wants to keep it a secret. Still wants Taylor to keep it a secret.
yeah, I
That's
guess so. I don't know. It was
huh.
very weird. But we get to
Interesting.
veto. Donnie wins it. And Donnie and Spencer quickly talk as HOH and power veto holder. And Spencer's like, I don't want you to use the veto. I don't want to get more blood on my hands. Like, Hero's going home. We're all in agreement with that. Like, let's do that.
Mhm.
Donnie brings up potentially using it on Masterfy because he's like, it's essentially the situation last week with Hero, not Hero, Spencer, and who was the other nominee last week? I don't remember.
Girl, don't ask me. What?
Who was next to Luca?
Uh,
I don't remember.
Uka?
Oliver. Was it? No, it was Hero. Hero. It was Luca and Hero. Hero was like
Okay, yeah,
begging
that makes
Spencer.
sense.
Hero was begging Spencer to use it, so Spencer was like, "Oh, maybe I should use it and like get an ally on my side." But everyone was like, "No, don't do that. Like Hero's gonna stay anyways, and Luca's going. Don't need to get more blood on our hands." Blah blah blah. Essentially the same situation this time, except Spencer's HOH. And Donnie has power veto, so he's like begging, like, "Can I please use the power veto on Masterfy to get like an ally on my side?" And Spencer's like, no, you told me last week I couldn't do that, so I don't think you should be able to do that this
I
week.
feel like Donnie might be getting a little too greedy because I feel like he's already aligned and in good terms with most of the house guests. So the fact that he's
Well,
like, please, well, okay, at this point he was. So the fact that he was like, please, like wanting to use it on Masterfy, it's
yeah,
like, calm down,
yeah.
chill.
But yeah, that's what Spencer was like, and Donnie's like, yeah, okay, fair points. I understand that. That's why I kind of wanted to talk with you first before I did anything. But if you don't want me to use it, I won't use it. And they're in agreement with that. Everything's good. They walk away. Spencer has one-on-ones with everybody else, and eventually he gets to a one-on-one with Landry. And Landry tells Spencer, Taylor's been spreading information around the house and is a big like social target and is like leaking information and doing all of this shady stuff. I think we should backdoor Taylor. And so
You know
Spencer.
what? I love Landry, but I smell a little bit of projection. I
Maybe a
love
little
Landry
bit.
so much, but
Maybe a
a
little
little bit of projection is going on here.
bit. Maybe
Because,
a little bit.
wow.
Yeah. Oh my god. So Spencer's like, oh shit, that's another one of my alliance members. And so Spencer goes to the Enderman Alliance and is like, so maybe we should backdoor Landry because Landry's like targeting Taylor really hard right now, and Landry's like clearly kind of this big player. So I think maybe we should do that while we get the chance. And everyone's like, yeah. Everyone else is like, yeah, we need to get out Landry. She's targeting us, so let's do it. Um, Problem was Spencer already told Donnie not to use the veto. So Spencer and Donnie end up meeting again, and Spencer's like, I changed my mind. You need to use the veto. And Donnie's like, who? why, who would be the replacement nominee. And Spencer doesn't want to say, but Donnie's like, well, I'm not going to use it unless you like tell me. And Spencer's kind of
It's
like,
funny.
and like an idiot tells him the truth and says Landry. Um, but to be fair, he did not know that Donnie and Landry were working together at this point.
I
So,
mean, yeah, he doesn't know explicitly, but I feel like you should have an idea of like the sides of the house at this point
well, that's this
and
is the
know that
like catalyst for everyone kind of figuring out the two sides.
yeah.
Nobody really knew yet. This is the event that caused everyone to find out. Um, but and so Donnie's like, oh, um, and Spencer starts like pulling like shit out of his ass and is trying to like backpedal. It's like, oh, but I don't want Landry to go home. I think Landry needs to go up because I think Masterfi is gonna go home next to Hero, and I want to be sure that Hero goes home. So I want to put Landry up as a pawn. That was Spencer's lie, which was
Spencer, okay, it was a good attempt,
yeah.
but nobody was ever gonna believe that, Spencer.
Yeah.
Nobody was ever going to believe that.
Yeah, and
If I was Donnie, I'd be a little insulted. Like, you think I'm that stupid, really?
yeah, Donnie was like, why? Nobody. I have heard nobody say that they want Master Fi out. That doesn't make sense, especially because
At
he's
least not
in.
yet.
Yeah, especially since he's in this big alliance with everyone. He's like, and he has the numbers, so he's like, no, he like that's just not happening. So he very much easily catches on, like, oh, like Landry is the target. That's what he wants to do. And so obviously he goes and tells Star and Landry like Spencer's trying to backdoor you for some reason. Um, it's very funny because before that, Landry was like begging Donnie, please use the veto so we can backdoor Taylor. We need to like put this into motion. And then she's very quickly like, don't use the veto.
This is a very interesting HOH for Spencer because I feel
Yeah,
like he was kind of caught in the middle as like collateral damage,
yeah.
and we kind of got the trying to backdoor Landry blood on his hands even when it wasn't like his idea in the first place.
Well, it was his idea. He's the one who brought up we need to backdoor Landry. Was it in his best
But he wasn't the
interest?
only one.
Yeah, everyone in his alliance was in agreement of it for sure. Um, but yeah, I think after he had that conversation with Donnie and telling him not to use the veto, he should have been like, "Well, it's too late now. We can't go back on that unless I come up with some really convincing, compelling lie or argument as to why he should use it now." But he didn't. He had no. I don't understand why he did not prepare a lie going into that conversation if he knew that he was wanted to like flip that. Like you should have
Yeah.
mentally prepared for that conversation as because obviously he was gonna ask why.
Hmm.
So
Literally, especially because he was pushing so hard against it in the first
yeah,
place.
so I feel like he should have come up with a better lie beforehand. But you know, hindsight's 2020, I
Decisions
guess.
were made. Yeah, decisions were made.
Um, so then obviously those three are like, okay, why is Spencer trying to backdoor Landry now? So Star, Landry, and Donnie are like talking, trying to figure this out. And Landry is like, oh, Taylor is like a mastermind manipulator and got into Spencer's head and like manipulated him and convinced him because Taylor has it out for me for. I don't know why Landry thinks this, but Landry thinks Taylor is like targeting her and wants her out for no reason. Um, and so they're like, damn, Taylor and Spencer are like, they gotta go. And then they kind of catch on that George is a part of that alliance. They don't necessarily connect Dominic to it, which I don't get why, because I feel like George and Dominic are so close that it would make
Yeah.
sense to connect those two, but they didn't catch on to that. They were just like George, Taylor, Spencer, those are an alliance. Um, and so
Dominic sliding by another week.
yeah. Um, and then obviously after Donnie's like, no, I'm not using the veto, Spencer, Taylor, Dominic, and George kind of catch on. Oh, those three are together because they see those three in a voice chat talking. So they kind of connect the dots like, oh, those three are together, and that's why Donnie doesn't want to do this. We're screwed. We're fucked. Is what they start realizing. And so all chaos ensues of people trying to push their own backdoor agenda of backdoor Taylor, backdoor Landry. All this back and forth ensues, which ultimately leads nowhere because Donnie does not use the veto. And the noms stay the same. And then Hero goes home in a 7-0 vote. You know, all that kerfluffle for quite
I
a
guess.
boring outcome. um,
I mean, the outcome might have been boring, but definitely not the gameplay like that
yeah,
ensues
yeah.
afterwards. Because,
So
like you said, this week was definitely like a catalyst.
yeah, because yeah, the two sides definitely know each other now. Yeah, will be interesting to see how that plays out. And then Landry wins HOH, which I was devastated by. I mean, I love Landry, but I really wanted. I'm rooting for the Enderman. I really like the
That's
Enderman.
just like the most chaotic outcome
Yeah,
that could have happened.
yeah.
Like,
After actively trying to target her,
yeah,
it was
they're
yeah.
the Endermen are gonna need a lot of luck
Yeah,
to get through
no,
this.
I don't think they survive. I think one of them leaves 100%. Um, but I guess the bright side on this is that Masterfy and Oliver, they're the duo kind of floating in the middle of it all right
Yeah,
now.
I
They.
kind of forgot all about Oliver, which it might be for the best.
Yeah, he's kind of just been there. Which I mean, I think it's probably at this point probably good gameplay because they're flying under the radar. Um,
Yeah.
but they kind of see once they were kind of filled in the situation afterwards, they kind of like, okay, so these three, Donnie, Star, and Landry, they have an alliance with those three, Oliver and Masterfy. So they know those three are a trio, and so they kind of realize we're on the bottom of this trio, and of that five, and that trio is like really strong at competitions. We can't go to the end with them because we're gonna lose. We need these two sides to kind of go back and forth. So they're really wanting a power shift going into next week after Landry's HOH, which means if the Endermen can stay together, they have two other people on their side, despite one of them leaving. Um, but I don't know if they will survive because Dominic and George are talking about jumping ship, essentially ditching Taylor and Spencer and trying to get in with the other side, which I don't think will work because like who else really is there? Because if you go to the other side, you're at the bottom of that. They're going to target you next right
Yeah.
after Taylor's gone. So
Right.
it's a very short term solution that would only last a week. So
That's interesting that they're thinking of doing that because I feel like I've Dominic and George have been the duo that are like constantly planning for the future, I feel like.
yeah,
And I don't know, this might be their first bad read.
yeah. So at this point, I think they just need to be like, no, we need to stick with the Enderman. We just need to decide who between Taylor and Spencer we can afford to lose because they're
Hmm.
gonna lose someone. They just need to kind of start really reeling in Masterfy and Oliver onto their side, um, which they kind of already have them. If as they just need to really talk and make that plan. Um, but as by the sounds of it, they're wanting to ditch Taylor because Spencer can win competitions, um,
Hmm.
which sucks because I'm Team Taylor. So, um, that's so
Well, I
sad.
mean, they have the safety games. They have veto. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah,
Anything can happen.
anything can happen. Uh, but yeah, so that's I'm interested to see how that all plays out. Um, and then we were supposed to have a session yesterday, but it got canceled because Landry fell asleep. But
She was literally asleep. Honestly, iconic.
uh, for all the wrong reasons. Uh,
Okay, wow.
I feel like that's kind of Landry's story so far. Iconic for all the wrong reasons. The first week she's playing way too hard, too fast, and now now she's sleeping.
She's yeah, I mean, besides her sleeping, she's definitely doing things.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely an entertaining
Can't say
player.
she's boring.
She's really, yeah,
Yes.
exactly. She's really
She's
fun.
still my favorite. I don't
Yeah.
care. I'm
Um,
diehard Landry Nation.
um, but anyways, so Star and Taylor were in a VC with a bunch of other people. Dominic was there, I think. Um, Oliver was there, I think. And a few other people. But Taylor confronts Star. I wasn't there again. I'm so devastated I missed this. But Taylor confronts Star about his alliance with those three, and he's like, you haven't. I don't know what was said because again I wasn't there. But all I know heard was that they start fighting over this. Taylor calls them out, and then Star kind of like just mutes and doesn't respond.
He
She's
didn't
like,
have anything to say.
yeah. But according to Dominic, it was very tense still and very juicy. So I was devastated I missed that. Um, but but that was interesting. Taylor is like, I know I'm not gonna win. I'm probably going home soon, so I'm gonna go out with a bang and I'm gonna start these fights and bring the
Fair
drama.
enough.
Um,
Yeah, Taylor's been really fun to watch.
yeah.
Definitely.
Especially this one. Um, Later Taylor gets in a call with Donnie. And Taylor's been having problems with Donnie throughout the game. They feel that Donnie's like ignoring and avoiding them because every time they join a VC with Donnie in it, Donnie leaves. I don't know if that's intentional on Donnie's part or not. I haven't heard Donnie say anything of the sorts, so it might just be coincidental. I don't know. But Taylor's
Nothing's
kind
a
of like,
coincidence in the Big Brother house.
yeah, exactly. But Taylor's like, I want to confront Donnie about this. So they join a VC while Donnie and Star are talking, and Donnie and Star were talking. Star was recounting the uh confrontation Taylor had with them. And so Star's like telling Donnie of like, yeah, they were like going off on me and blah blah blah, and they don't realize Taylor has joined. And so Taylor's like, which is weird because both Taylor and Kay joined. You hear the join sound. Taylor goes hi, and they just Star just like
Bro,
keeps
oh my
going.
gosh, that's I never understood how that could happen. Like,
Right?
because during my season, my eyes were constantly on the list of people
Yeah.
on Discord who I was in the VC with, so that wouldn't happen.
You could
Like,
you could hear them go silent when they heard them join. They went silent for a minute and then just continued
yeah.
talking. I think maybe they thought just Cade joined and it was just Cade listening
Oh
in,
yeah.
because Cade joined in at the same time, so they might have just thought that. But Star continues going on, and then Star kind of finishes and and so they kind of like quiet down and Star kind of like and then Taylor speaks up and goes, no, continue telling Donnie the story. Like, continue telling on.
That's so embarrassing. I would just leave.
And then Donnie pulls something out of his ass and he's, no, we were talking about my delivery man, Jeff.
What?
That was Taylor's reaction. Taylor was like, you're straight up lying right now. What the fuck do you mean?
Donnie said the first thing that came to his mind. That's crazy. I love Donnie so much.
Donnie is so funny. And so then they start like screaming at each other. They're like for real screaming at each other about, you're lying. No, I'm not. And then at one point you hear Taylor's roommate knock on their door and they go, not now.
Roommate. Her roommate's like, oh.
Oh my
I
god.
guess we're busy.
Right? Oh my god. And they're just yelling at
That is
each
so
other
funny.
about this for a while. And then eventually they start talking about the incident from last week and Taylor's like, and they're talking about their sides. And Donnie's like, well, from what I heard, like you started leaking information from Landry and then you started targeting her, blah blah blah. And Taylor's like, that's not true. What had happened was we had an alliance. I told her the people in her things she told me to the other people in our alliance. In theory, she should trust all these people. It doesn't make sense why she would be mad at me for doing that, which they
Right.
totally have a point in that. So they're like, I don't understand why Landry's upset about that. And I wasn't even the one who brought up her name. Spencer told me that Landry was targeting me, and that's Spencer proposed the idea, and that's why and obviously hearing that Landry was targeting me, I hopped on that. So, and so I don't know if Donnie necessarily believed them or not. I don't know, but Donnie's like, okay, I believe you. I'm glad we cleared that up. And they're on good terms now, I guess. Which Taylor's upset about. Taylor's like, damn, I wanted to fight. I wanted to be mad. I wanted.
I love how passionately Taylor plays this game.
It's so
As you can
funny.
tell, they definitely care about having an entertaining
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
They've put their whole heart into this season. I really appreciate
Yes,
that.
they are. They're making it so much more entertaining.
I also feel like they're like the most unlucky house guests
For
this season
real, like,
because things just keep happening
right,
to them that they have very
right.
little
People
control
keep
over.
targeting
It just
them
spirals.
for
It
like
just
no reason.
spirals,
Yeah, poor
literally.
Taylor. Um, And then later Dominic joins. And at first Dominic's like, "Oops, sorry, were we fighting?" Which was very funny. But Taylor's like, "No, we're done with the fighting now." And so Star and Donnie leave, and so Taylor recounts to Donnie what happened, and then Donnie, or not Donnie, recounts to
Dominic.
Dominic.
Okay, okay.
Their names are too similar. They're both
They are.
Do. And then Dominic tells George what happened because those two are a duo. Um, and
So now
Taylor,
basically everyone knows.
yeah. So Taylor, what Taylor hopes to achieve is to get out Spencer because they kind of know one of us is leaving. I think I can stay next to
Hmm.
Spencer. Whether that's the case or not, we'll see. George
I
and
don't know about that.
yeah, George and Dominic were both like, I don't know about that, but okay. um, yeah, they're very torn because they're closer with Taylor. They like Taylor more, but Spencer can win competitions for them, where Taylor has not won any yet. So that's
Yeah. And Taylor still does have their safety ticket, right?
yes.
Okay, well.
Do we want to talk about the results of this? We did the safety competition for this week. Do we want to talk about that
Oh man.
this week?
Yeah, we can talk
Because
about it.
we were supposed to have a session yesterday. We didn't. So we just had everyone do the safety games. But Taylor totally lost. Taylor flopped. Well, they didn't flop. They did decent. But Donnie won it.
Hmm.
So which Donnie did not need it at all. I really wish Taylor or George or Spencer would have gotten it. All three of them were playing. None of them got it. I was really
Yeah.
devastated by it. I was like, damn, it wasn't even close. I was like, if they were like 2 seconds off or something, I could have fudged the numbers. I could have rigged it. I could have made it. I could have fudged it so one of them would
You
have won. But no, it
I
was
don't
like,
think Yeah, I don't think you were the only one upset over Donnie winning because I don't know who it was, but somebody was like roasting him and saying that man has not spent one day off of Minecraft or something.
Taylor was saying that. Taylor was the one saying that.
That's perfectly valid.
Oh my god.
Donnie is kind of a beast
Yeah.
at Minecraft.
Oh my god. Which is like why I think they should have gone after Donnie and Landry last week to start off with instead of Hero. But
Hmm.
anyways, yeah, they really fudged this HOH week because it would they set themselves up for failure because now the big three are in a position to set themselves up to steamroll.
Yeah.
So that's really unfortunate. But yeah, it's not looking good for the Endermen.
No, not really.
Yeah, and
So, sorry.
I was gonna say Taylor. I was like Taylor could maybe like convince people to keep them, but I don't think they're really interested in that at this point. I think they just want to kind of go off on everybody, which fair when everyone's kind of been throwing you
Yeah.
under the bus and targeting you and like you know.
Do we have like a concrete idea of Landry's eventual nominations?
I've heard her talk. She's definitely gonna nominate Taylor. I don't
Yeah,
know
that's a
who.
given.
She's been debating between Spencer and George going up next to them. I think.
Hmm.
I don't know which one she's leaning towards. I think probably Spencer. Since Spencer was the HOH planning to backdoor her, I think that would make the most sense to do.
Right.
Um, but I'm not sure if she chose between Spencer or George quite yet, but for sure one of those two. Um, yeah, and with Star, with the Ring of Replacement, I think the Endermen are even more screwed because, say, if
Yeah.
Taylor and Spencer are in there and then they pick Dominic and George to play in it, they have everyone in their alliance, yay! And then Star pulls out
Yep.
his ring, takes one of them out, um, and then puts
Unfortunate.
in like Donnie in there, and they're done for. Um,
Yeah.
so that is really unfortunate. Um, but yeah, there was a lot of drama this week, but it's just not much to make of it other than it was entertaining, and I can't wait to see where it leads. Um, oh my god.
I think I have an idea of where it's heading.
Yeah. I am excited for next week because that's the twist week. The house guests are speculating whether or not there'll be a double eviction next week, which kind of, not in the way they're expecting though. It's going to be the power reversal week. So essentially, how it will work is the HOH is going to pick two people to be safe instead of two nominees, and then the five remaining play in veto. the veto winner safe, they pick one more person to be safe, and then the other three face eviction, but everyone votes to save instead to evict, and then whoever gets the most votes stays, and the other two leave, which will be interesting to see. Because if a big three person wins that HOH, they're gonna they're steamrolling the rest of the season for sure. There's the Ender, at least one of the Endermans going home, maybe even two more of them. So
and then they're just gone.
Yeah, but if the Enderman or even Oliver or Masterfi at this point, if one of them can pull out a win, they can get out at least one of the big three, and then I think we have a better chance for a back and forth, which will be more entertaining. So that's what I hope happens.
Exactly. Yeah, praying that I'm actually gonna be able to be there that session.
Hopefully. But yeah, I'm very excited to see Taylor blow up the house. I hope they do. I hope they go off on everybody. They kind of already did go off on everybody, but I want to see them do it again in the actual session.
Yeah, I think they'll deliver.
Yeah. Oh my god. But
they're so funny in the DR.
They are, but
they're my favorite DR to read.
Oh my god, they're always saying they say what's on their mind. Oh my god, but I feel bad for that because like the entire other side is targeting them, and now all their allies are like abandoning them at this point. Like,
and for why?
Right?
For why? Like,
exactly.
Why?
So they are screwed, and I mean Spencer's also screwed. The only way he gets off scot-free is because Taylor's a bigger target than him. So yeah.
But as soon as Taylor leaves,
exactly,
probably Spencer next. So
yeah. But Star's in a pretty good position because I think Donnie's the comp beast, Landry's this big explosive personality who's actively targeting them. So out of the three, Star is definitely the safest of those three. So I think he's in a pretty good position. Masterfi and Oliver are also in a really great position. They're floating in the middle.
Yeah. I think as the weeks go on, Masterfi and Oliver are honestly becoming like two of the more interesting characters to me.
Yeah.
Because their game could literally go anywhere at this point. Because as we were talking about in like the last episodes, they are kind of in the middle of this civil war.
Yeah.
And they're not really a lot. Well, they're aligned, but like they're not really like loyal to one side as opposed to the other. So it's just interesting to see where that'll take them.
I do think I predict that one of them will probably become collateral damage in the power reversal week, because there's going to be 3 nominees. So I have a feeling that with the power of veto, obviously whoever wins HOH is going to keep their 2 other allies safe. And then Masterfi and Oliver haven't done the best at competition so far. So I feel like someone from the opposing side will win veto, then keep one of their other allies safe, which will keep their 3rd ally on the block, and then Masterfi and Oliver. And so then I think one of them ends up going. That's what I predict will happen. I think one of them will end up being collateral, just from being at the bottom of the totem pole for each side.
Yeah. But hey, the other one could make it to the end.
Yeah, I think Masterfi at this point's playing a slightly stronger game. He's been communicating with people a lot more, has been actively making these alliances. Like he's making an alliance with Dominic and George, I believe, with the other side of the house, where Oliver's just kind of there. I feel like, but
yeah, definitely a little bit more on the floater side.
Yeah. I feel Masterfi's sociability could also backfire on him because, again, people have talked about like Masterfi's talking a lot. But
he does talk a lot.
With this civil war brewing, nobody really cares about that right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think we have a very interesting week ahead of us, and I'm interested to see who wins. If Taylor can pull out safety, I'll be amazed. I'm hoping for a Britney moment, like BB Reindeer games.
Oh no!
You know,
that's ironic from the episode tonight. Literally just watched her get
God.
eliminated.
Wow. No, I want Taylor to go in that hamster wheel, and I want them to pull out their veto win. My God.
Which veto are they going to be
The shipwreck
subjected to?
scramble one, the
Oh
letter one.
boy.
So it's more of a mental comp. So I think Taylor has a better chance at that.
As long as they don't spell Spider-Man.
They do have the Spider-Man character. This is not looking good for them.
Oh my god. It's a curse.
Oh my God. They're gonna spell like Venoms.
Venoms.
I wanted to make it longer, so I made it plural. That is not the plural of Spider-Man, Travis. That would be Spider-Men.
Spider-Man. I love Travis.
Oh my God. I need Travis and Taylor on a season together. Taylor and Travis for All Stars.
All stars.
Oh my God. But yeah.